Welcome back, Farting Taco here, and in this video I'm going to share with you what I think Incursion Red River needs right now, along with what this game could use in the distant future to make it the best it can be. Okay, let's jump right into my list. First thing I think this game desperately needs is grenades or other throwables. It would be so cool to be able, especially in this bunker map, to throw grenades and flashbangs, maybe smoke grenades even, around corners and stuff as you're clearing through the bunker. And with that, the ability for enemies to throw grenades. Now, maybe not all the time, because that would get really annoying if they all just throw a grenade immediately, but it would be pretty cool to have a nice firefight with a couple of enemies and then one of them toss a grenade at you. Okay, let's jump right into the next thing I think this game needs. Number 2, loose loot. Now, it's just something about an extraction shooter running around. All the loot in this game is in crates or containers. It'd be pretty cool if we can start finding some actual loose loot laying around the environment. It's just something about coming across the table with a couple weapon attachments on it, or maybe cans of food, that kind of stuff. Now, moving on to the third thing this game needs. That is inter-AI fighting. I think it would be really cool to be running along the maps and then having two factions face off against each other and you be able to run into the middle of a crazy ongoing firefight. I think that would be really cool. That would really separate this game from a lot of other extraction shooters out there. It could be more of a large-scale thing, too, where you have a large battle going on and you're kind of running in the middle of it. It could be very dynamic, too, based on where and when the enemies spawn, that kind of stuff. So that brings me right into what the fourth thing that I think this game needs, and that is more bosses. So right now there is the operation where you can select it and then go in to defeat a boss and then extract. Usually those bosses have pretty good loot on them. I made another video on that operation specifically. You can go check it out on in the playlist there. More bosses would be very beneficial, I think, to this game. Probably take a page out of Escape from Tarkov's book, where you have different bosses on different maps that have a chance to spawn. They spawn with certain gear. They could be beefed up with the best armor, like the bosses have now. Maybe buff up the health a little bit. They could have their own set amount of grenades and stuff if we get that in the future. I think bosses would be a very good addition to the game. And I'm talking like more like roaming bosses, so bosses that aren't just operation based, but also roaming around the maps. They have a chance to spawn, all that good stuff. Okay, moving on to the fifth thing I think this game needs. So, as is, the game has 3 factions in it, right? You got VLF, you got IGC, and UIGC. So I think if we had a couple more factions we could work with, maybe bump it up to even 4 or 5, I think that could be very beneficial to the game itself, as well as giving us unique equipment maybe as you actually progress through the tiers of those additional factions. You can include things like the grenades like we talked about earlier, as well as maybe specialized night equipment for the bunker. And I'm sure as new equipment and stuff comes out with future updates, they could add that into these new factions as well. Okay, before we continue on with the rest of the video, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more content on Incursion Red River. Now, moving on to the 6th thing I think this game needs, and that is some form of food and water mechanic. Now, as you've noticed in the game, even if you're newer to the game, there's a lot of food, consumable, or items that should be consumable in the game that you can find throughout both quarry and bunker. I think at some point we need a reason to have this stuff, right? We need a system similar to other extraction shooters where you have to consume, let's say, food and water in order to keep your health up, maybe to keep your stamina regenerating, that kind of stuff. Okay, now I'm going to jump into some more long-term things that I think could make Incursion Red River stand out from every other game out there. First up, friendly controllable AI. So the ability to have AI, if you are playing solo, and you can have a squad that you could control, either set formations that they follow you in, or tell them to rally on a certain point, or even go as far as to get them to open and breach certain doors. Kind of stuff that you would see in other games like Ready or Not. I think that would be a very cool aspect. Okay, second thing, vehicles. So whether it be vehicles manned by AI or vehicles manned by the player or the squad, I think it would be very cool to have vehicles that you could use to fight as well, such as like armored fighting vehicles, vehicles with cannons on them, machine guns, all that good stuff. I think that'd be a cool aspect to add into the game, especially as the maps get bigger. Now, this would be a very huge change and probably would have to be restricted to certain maps. Quarry would be a decent one to have vehicles in, and I think it would really amp up the gameplay, being able to operate a vehicle with your squad, or even, like I said, with your controllable AI, and be able to use these vehicles in combat. Now, last thing I think this game could use is artillery or air support. Now, it'd be really cool to be able to call in artillery or air support well on maps like Quarry when you are getting overrun by enemies. Let's say you're on one of the terminal operations where you have to locate the terminal and log into it, and then once you log into it, there's going to be a huge wave of AI come after you. I think it'd be very cool to have access to artillery, mortars maybe. I know Gray Zone Warfare added this recently. I think it would be very cool to have in this game, though. Now, that being said, it could be kind of hidden behind your leveling up the rep for your factions. Like I was talking about, having additional factions, I think it'd be cool if one of those additional factions, maybe mortars and air support, was hidden behind different tiers of that faction. Okay, that's it for the video today, guys. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you liked the video. Leave in the comments what you think Incursion Red River could use in both the near or maybe long-term future. And I will say, I am very excited to see the next maps that come out for Incursion Red River. I'll be covering them in detail when they come out on my channel in the playlist. And I'm excited to see where this game goes as it moves from early access.